Right. Let's continue on forth with day for June 21st. Okay, so what has happened here? Yes, do you guys remember that? We hired one worker to work a full 8-hour shift, right? And we had them work for 3 days. Okay. All right. So how do we calculate this? Well, first off, what are we doing here? What are we making a payment to? Say that again. At the temporary agency? Yes, we are paying that temporary agency. So let's go ahead and go in our chart of accounts. Do we have something along the lines of an expense that's kind of geared towards this area? This person is not our employee.
Temporary labor expense?
Temporary labor expense. Good. So 6520. All right, so we have hired a temporary labor. Okay, and how are we paying them? Yes, we're going to be using a check. All right, so that was 6520, I believe, and 10100. Now, how much am I going to be charging, or how much am I going to actually be paying this person or this temporary agency?
I calculated the whole amount and things like that, but before taxes, it came up 252. I'm not sure.
Do we, okay, question to you. This is a payroll question, right? This is a temporary contractor. Are we responsible to pay for anything for them?
No,
No, we just pay them, we just pay the agency as an expense.
it's agency.
Yes. This is they're independent contractor. We just pay the agency, right, from the temporary agency, right? And we just pay them as a bill, as an expense. We don't take care of anything for them. We don't charge them tax. We don't collect tax from them. They are just a mere expense to us. So how do we calculate the total amount?
3 times 3.
Oh.
1050 times 8 hours times 3.
All right, and that gives us a total of $252 even. Okay. All right. Before anything else, where do we need to go first?
Check.
We need to go to the check register. Good. So checking register. All right. So for the 21st of June, how much are we writing a check for?
252.
252. And who are we writing it out to?
To the temporary agency.
What's it called?
Higher temps.
Higher temps. Right? Right, so now we know what check number we are dealing with. we're dealing with check number 1519. So now we can complete our journal with our description. So what is going on? So who was the vendor again?
Higher temps.
All right.
Check number. 15.
Anything else you want to add in there?
No.
No? Okay. There we go. We finish our transaction. Okay. So where do we need to go now?
Ledger.
Ledger. Okay. So this is an expense for operating expenses. Okay. This is going to fall under the category of labor expense. Right? We have the temporary labor expense right here, which is under the category, the main category of labor expense. So I'm going to go ahead and write here, 21st of June. What do you want to write in the notes?
Check number.
Check number 1519. All right. General journal number 9. And how much am I debiting or am I crediting my account?
Debit.
Debit by 252. Making it a beginning balance of 252. Okay. And the next thing we gotta do is gotta update our checking. All right, checking for 621. What am I gonna put here?
Item, check number.
Check number 1519. You can put the person, but then again, your check number should have the person's name on there. Okay. General journal number 9. All right. Am I crediting or debiting my account?
Credit.
Credit for 252. Right. Bringing me my new grand total of $2,058.53. Where do I need to go next?
Subsidiary ledger, higher temps.
Yes, subsidiary ledger higher temps. Good. Subsidiary ledger higher temps. They are a vendor to us. So let's scroll down. We have Haley Bros. Higher temps right here. Date, the 21st. All right. What do we need to know?
One laborer, 3 days at 10.50 per hour.
Good. One person. 3 days. 8 hours. And what else?
Rate.
Oh yes, 10.50 an hour. And what else? We need to put the check number, 1519 that we paid them. Okay. There is no invoice number, unless there is. Is there?
None.
None. Post reference, general journal number 9. Okay. Obviously, we didn't get a bill, so there's no terms or anything like that. Okay. No prepaid amounts because we paid the agency. And the bill amount is going to be for the $252. And we made the payment with check number 1519. So therefore, my formula should be my invoice minus my prepaid minus my returns minus any discounts minus my payments. So I owe hire temps $0.
Lynn, real quick,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
when you're doing the formula, you always go to invoice amount first, right? If there's a number in there.
Correct.
Okay, because I'm trying to figure out the method to the madness because sometimes in my Excel program, it will the formula will for some reason disappear, and I'm like, okay, now what was the method to the madness?
Okay. Well, you want to start off with your invoice, right? Your invoice is going to be number 1 because that's what you're being billed for. Right? So that's your number 1
Is it
start.
in there or not? So for example, does a number have to be in the invoice part or no?
No.
Does that make any sense?
No.
Okay.
So for when we did the other times where we just strictly just only paid, there was nothing in the invoice amount.
But you always do invoice first. So
You
it
yes.
would be equal sign, then invoice, and then go to prepaid, and then go back to return, discount, and payment.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay. I
Right?
just wanted to make sure because I was in my head now. What does she do and how does she do it and what's the method?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Always start with your invoice because that's exactly what you start off with. Okay? And everything else, you're subtracting it out because a prepaid account changes the invoice by decreasing it, right? Same thing with the returns and allowance. Same thing with a discount. And of course, a payment reduces your invoice amount. So think of it that way. You're going to start with your whole amount of invoice. You're going to deduct any prepaid, deduct any returns, deduct any discounts, and deduct any payments. You keep that formula in there and you can go ahead and pull them down every time you make another transaction with that same exact vendor. Whether you're entering a bill or whether you're making a payment or whether you received a discount, that's going to apply for every single one, every little line. And we'll actually look into that when we move down to our actually couple next ones. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. So here we go. We've already updated my subsidiary ledger here. So what is next?
Return of 4 cracked ceramic coffee cups to vendor for full credit.
So we have some broken stuff. All right. And when did we receive the items? We received it the day before. So in this case, it's going to be reflectant of the previous batch that we just bought. Because there's no way that you're going to have a cracked cup that you purchased it all the way on June 10th. Right? Why is it that 10 days later or 11 days later you find out that you have broken mugs? So it makes sense that it came from the most recent batch. Okay? So here we're looking at returning 4 cracked mugs. Okay? To a vendor for a full refund. So how do we do this?
Accounts payable and then ceramic coffee cups.
Now, do we actually have those items in inventory?
Oh, that's perpetual. Clearly not.
Not yet.
Okay.
So good with accounts payable because we do owe them money. We haven't even paid them at all yet. So good. Accounts payable is going to be correct. All right. So where can we find this piece of information?
Somebody else can go ahead and speak up. I'm looking for something in my chapter reviews because I don't have the answer.
No, that's okay. Use your chart of accounts as well.
Inventory. We can look for the coffee mugs inventory.
Where are the coffee mugs right now? Where are the coffee mugs as of right now? Where are they located?
Still not located at the inventory.
Not
As
yet.
it's been, yeah, in the worksheet, the calculations are there.
Okay, but where did we place them when we made our purchases of it? When we made our purchase of the coffee mugs, where did we place them?
It's an expense.
They're right now under purchase expense. Okay, so
Would
what
that be returns and allowances?
purchase returns and allowances? That's correct. Okay. All right. Now, how do we know how much we're going to be returning, and how do we know how much each cup cost us? The inventory worksheet. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the inventory worksheet. Coffee mugs. Okay. Now, just like how we've been doing it in class, if we scroll down, we have a little section for our returns and allowances. How many cups are we returning?
4.
4. In quantity, yes. Okay. Now, how much, because I'm taking it from my previous batch, how much was each coffee mug worth? How much did it cost me to buy?
The original. From the last one, it's 246 per unit.
Good. Why don't we include the freight?
So that's 375. 371.
No, I'm saying why don't we include the freight? You're correct with the 246.
Because the freight is not refundable.
Yes. Yes. So 246 is going to be what I'm going to be refunding for. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy it from above here. And can you calculate for me how much am I going to get a full refund for?
984.
$9.84. Okay. All right. So now we can go to our journal and let's go ahead and tally those in. Okay. So $9.84. $9.84. All right. Now, can someone tell me what is the account number for the purchase returns and allowances?
61,500.
61,500. Okay. All right. So what does that tell us? So what does that tell us?
Put a note underneath on the journal.
Okay. So who is my vendor?
All things ceramic.
All things ceramic. Okay. How many coffee mugs am I refunding for?
4.
4. I guess return 4 mugs for full refund. Okay, and it would be helpful to also have the invoice number, but I don't know what the invoice number is just yet. So we can always come back and fix this. Right? Invoice number what? Okay. So where do we need to go next? Ledger. Okay, so this time we're going to decrease our accounts payable. What do you want to put here?
Return 4 mugs. And then the ceramic.
Okay. General journal number. Are we still on number 9?
Yeah.
How much are we decreasing it by?
984.
All right. So now we're going to go to our operating expenses because now we're dealing with purchase returns and allowances. What is purchase returns and allowances? What kind of account is purchase returns and allowances?
Contra.
Contra account. Okay, so that's why it has a credit balance because it's a contra account to purchase expense. Purchase expense are normally debited. In this case, we're making a return. All right, so right, full refund. Post reference is general journal number 9. Okay, and we're crediting the account by $9.84, making my credit balance to be $9.84. Okay. $9.84. Okay. Now, where do we need to go?
Subsidiary ledger.
Subsidiary ledger, right? We need to inform my vendor, right? That, hey, I received some broken mugs, so therefore I want a refund. And they're going to issue you either 1, a credit memo, or 2, they're just going to apply it to the invoice itself. In this case, we're going to have it applied to the invoice. So here, I'm going to go ahead and date it. So the invoice that we're dealing with is going to be 159, right? Because that's the recent one that we just purchased. Okay? So here, what am I going to write?
49.
Return or refund for cracked mugs. All right, invoice 159 because that's what we're going to be receiving. But what I'm going to do here is because invoice 159, because we're getting money back for it, I'm going to place a C there to stand for credit. Okay, so that means this credit is going to apply to this original bill here. So instead of us having to owe 296, it's actually going to be for the reduced amount. Okay, so general journal number 9. Okay, now in this case, we don't need to fill in anything here. The invoice amount is already there, right? We don't need a double entry in. All we need to do is just fill in the returns and allowances, which we are having it for $9.84. Okay, and if we filled in the formula correctly, right, starting off with our invoice, minus out our prepaid, minus returns, minus discounts, minus your payments, you should get a negative $9.84. So that means it's going to decrease my total amount that I owe, but it doesn't decrease my invoice, okay? My invoice amount is going to be for whatever I pay the remainder for. So right now I need to do on the side, well, what is actual my invoice that I'm going to be due for? So I'm going to do this right here on the side. So now I actually only owe $286.96. Okay, instead of for the full amount of the $296.80. All right, so I'm going to be reducing it by almost $10.
I was thinking, I was thinking, when I was calculating the 296 minus 984 would be accounts payable, the difference, that 286.
Yes, that is no. That's fine. That's why I said you can do that as well. But again, with if you were to do that, right? So hypothetically, if I wanted to, I could have placed it right here, $9.84, and that would have reduced my accounts payable to now $896.96. But the only problem is you have no room to place in all of your extra information, such as the date that it happened, what are you returning, and what invoice does it belong to. So that's why I'm telling you right now. So on the side, just to let you know what the new invoice is, that's where you do your little calculation on the side here. But in this case, I don't want to apply it there because it doesn't give me room to place in my missing information. I can't squeeze in and change in my information because then that is where the room for fraud can happen, right? Because you're entering in data where it shouldn't belong. So in this case, this is my best way to organize my information. And just by knowing this, at the end of the day, when I look at my information, at least I know that this credit belongs to this invoice. Okay? So this credit of $9.84 belongs to this invoice. All right?
I got it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So that's exactly what we're doing it here. Okay, and on top of that, our invoice, we just missed the discount period for our first invoice of the coffee mugs, right? It was supposed to be on June 20th. It's already June 21st. So I already missed the first discount that could be possible. Okay, so That is how I'm doing my subsidiary ledger. All right? You can do differently if you like, whatever makes sense to you, whatever makes it easier for you. Just because I'm the accountant in this scenario, I'm telling you I want you to separate every single transaction. All right? So, what has happened next? We've already updated our inventory worksheet. So, what is next?
Katie's coffee corner returns to broken coffee mug.
Okay, so even she decided to return to us. Okay, and she's only has one invoice for right now, which is invoice number 101. So she wants a full credit to be applied to invoice number 101. So how do we deal with this time? Okay, so who is Katie?
It's a customer.
She's a customer.
Sales return.
Sales returns and allowances, correct. And if we're applying it to her invoice, then what are we reducing?
Accounts receivable.
Accounts receivable. So 621. All right, we got a sales returns and allowances. Okay. And we are reducing the amount that she owes us, so we're reducing the accounts receivable. Good. So what account number is my sales returns and allowances?
$45,000.
45,000. And the accounts receivable, how much is, account number is accounts receivable? I think it's 11,000. Okay. Now, how much is one coffee cup that I sold to Katie's Coffee Corner? $4.99 each, right? If you guys remember from way back when, in week 2, actually, is it week 2 or I think I have it for week 1 or for week 3. I set the price for selling it to my wholesalers. I sell my coffee mugs for $4.99. For my public people, right? For people who just walk into the store, I charge them $6.99. Okay, so if I charge Katie $4.99, right? There's no tax on there because she's a wholesaler, right? Albert sold to her as a wholesaling. That's why there's no tax. So can you tell me how much is it going to cost me to refund for the 2 broken mugs? $9.98, right? It's going to be 2 times $4.99 to give me a total of $9.98. Okay? And I'm going to also make a note here that Katie's Coffee Corner. Refund to Broken Mugs. Invoice number 101C for credit, because we have to change her credit here. And I forgot to finish up the last one here, invoice number 159 for the previous one. Okay, so here we completed our journal. So where do we need to go next?
Ledger.
Ledger. Good. So sales returns and allowances is going to be under revenues because it's a contra account. Revenue, so here we're just going to go all the way down to our sales, returns, and allowances. Okay. You can go ahead and say Katie's Coffee Corner, return RTN for Broken Mugs. For a full refund. Okay. So my post reference is going to be General Journal number 9. Okay. And am I debiting my account or am I crediting my account? You're going to debit it for $9.98. Is that correct? $9.98. Yes. Bringing my beginning balance to be $9.98. Okay. And then we need to go to our assets because we're reducing our accounts receivable. So accounts receivable right here. So 621. Okay. Oh, is it 2? Oh, I've been writing 4 the whole entire time. All right, so let me fix my returns on my revenues here because I also wrote 4. Return 2. Okay, so go back to my accounts receivable. So returned 2 Broken Mugs, invoice number 101C. All right. General Journal number 9, and I'm crediting it for $9.98, bringing me my total of accounts receivable to be 163.41. Good. So now that we completed this, where do we need to go next?
Subsidiary ledger customers.
Yes, a subsidiary ledger customers, because we're dealing with a customer. And Miss Katie should be the second one. Okay. So now we're going to write in the 21st. Right. Refund to Broken Mugs. Right. invoice number 101C because it's a credit, right? She asked us to apply to the invoice, so it's going to be considered a credit.
I meant to ask that, what that C stands for after the number.
Okay.
Okay.
So again, we don't need to indicate anything here. All we need to indicate is what the returns and allowances was for. And in this case, it was for $9. Oops, wrong one. $9.98. All right. And if we typed in this formula correctly, you should be able to pull it down. So now it reduced my invoice. Okay. And it reduced it to make it so that now Katie only owes me $99.54. Okay. $99.54 opposed to the $109.57. Okay. What is next?
But on the commission expense, we have to subtract.
No, because whatever he sold, he sold. We keep it final.
Oh, okay. I thought you have to deduct any returns or whatever.
No, that's well, one. My policy was that I said that he gets to keep whatever sales he makes, no matter if there's a return or anything. Okay. Where do we need to go next?
The inventory,
Why do we need to go to inventory?
we have to subtract whatever the encoded, the original. No, because it's no longer part of inventory. No. It's broken, it's damaged. No.
Okay. So your conclusion is we don't need to update our inventory.
I'm sorry.
Do we need to update our inventory? Anybody want to help Lynette out? Do we need to update our inventory?
It's considered as a loss on our part.
If it's periodic and it's not in the inventory, why would we?
What do you mean by that? What
'Cause
makes it not part of inventory?
Well, you said it was periodic, right?
Correct?
That means at the end, we haven't necessarily calculated what's in inventory. It's not the end of the period or the month to calculate all of that.
Whoa. What makes that reason possible, right? Why is it that when I was able to return my purchases? Why was I able to enter in my purchase returns when I returned 4 of the cracked mugs, right? Why was I able to do that? So what makes it so different? Why do I not need to record those 2 broken mugs?
I don't have an answer.
The same thing that I'm trying to recall, but I thought the mere fact that I know it's counted
Well, if you
inventory at
okay,
the
you
end.
return them. So if you return them,
Mm-hmm.
well then I guess if they were returned, then I'm just gonna assume because I didn't said no, yes, then maybe I'm not sure. But if they were damaged, don't we have to note that, right?
Correct.
And take that out of
You take it out from the
the word that I
inventory.
want to use. Take it out of take it out of the cycle or whatever the case may be, and not to put those aside to say okay, this is no good.
Okay.
So I'm assuming yes, you change it because at the end of the day we can't put it back in circulation because it's no good.
Good. Okay. Okay. Okay.
I'm
Good
trying
reasoning.
to-
Now,
Logic. So
who is Katie?
Katie is a vendor.
Is she a vendor?
Not the, not a vendor, but she's a customer.
She's a customer. All right. Now, under periodic inventory, do we care about sales?
At the end of, at the end of the period.
At the end of the period. So, this is only dealing with our vendor. So if we make a return to our vendor, then we record it. If a customer returns to us, do we care about it?
No.
No, because at the end of the day, what do we have to do? Someone needs to go down to the basement, physically count how many cups there are, and we just make the assumption that I guess all the other cups were sold. We don't care if there was a broken thing. We don't care about that. All we care is about the ending amount in our inventory. And
So
right
in other
now,
words, no.
we don't care. So with Katie's making a refund for her 2 coffee mugs, we don't care for it. So we don't need to go to our inventory worksheet because periodic, we don't care about sales. We only care about just the purchases.
Gotcha.
Okay. Good try though. Good try. This is exactly why I have to ask these questions, just so then it ensures so you know exactly what you're doing. So good. So now you know, now you can apply it. So now that we don't need to deal with our inventory worksheet, okay, so then we can go ahead and move on. So what has happened next?
Corner bookstore wants to return for cracked coffee knife. Willing to accept 50% discount to apply invoice 102.
Okay, so we have another customer that decides to say, hey, I want to refund 4 of them, but we were able to convince them to keep those cups. Well, they're broken now, right? But they're willing to take a discount, right? And we gave them 50% off because they can't even use the cups anymore. They're broken. So, and he's willing to accept the 50% refund to be applied to his invoice on invoice number 102. So, how am I going to treat this scenario? How am I going to treat this scenario?
Is it sales returns and allowances, debit?
Correct. It's going to be identical because this is another customer of ours, right? And we need to reduce the sales returns and allowance, the sales by having a contra account for sales returns and allowances. Good. And because he said he wants it to be applied on his invoice, so what does that mean? What are we reducing?
The amount he will owe.
Which is what account?
Accounts receivable.
Accounts receivable, correct. Okay. And that is for 11,000. Okay. So because we know the fact that we sold each cup to our customers that have on an account because we're a wholesaler, we sell it for $4.99 a cup. So how much is it going to cost me to calculate to a 50% refund for 4 cracked mugs?
Came out 998.
It came out to be the same exact price. Okay, so I'll do the calculation here. So it is 4 times $4.99 times 0.5, which is 50%, to give me a total of $9.98. Good. And here I'm going to go ahead and indicate in my description who returned to us. Corner bookstore. So corner bookstore. Okay.
Invoice 102.
Invoice 102.
So you have to put C, no, you see?
Say that again? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
Invoice.
just referring to the previous ones where we have the C, credit,
Good. Good.
for mugs.
Oh my gosh, I cannot type to save my life today. Broken mugs. There you go. So we finish off the last page in page 9. Okay. So for Mr. Mr. Corner Bookstore. So now what? We need to go to our ledger. Okay. So again, we're going to go dipping into the same exact accounts, right? We're going to be dipping back into my sales returns and allowances. All right. 621. Oops. 621. We recognize that corner bookstore. Right? Corner bookstore. Attempted to return four broken mugs for 50% discount. General Journal number 9. Okay, and how much was that discount for? Debit $9.98, giving me a grand total. What was that?
998.
I have a previous one.
You have the previous 998 times 2. It's 1996.
1996 total of sales returns and allowances. Right? And we're going to go back to our assets and we're going to update the accounts receivable. So 621. 621. All right. And then I have return for broken mugs. $50% discount. Invoice number 102C. Okay. General Journal number 9. I'm still on 9. Okay. And for what amount am I going to be crediting it for? 998, bringing my accounts receivable account to be 153.43. Okay, good. All right. Last but not least, let's go ahead and update our customer subsidiary ledger. So Corner Bookstore is going to be the 4th box. Okay. So again, 21st. All right. we're going to return for for 50% discount. We know that the invoice is going to be 102C because he wants us, the corner bookstore wants us to apply the credit to the invoice, right? General journal number 9. Bill doesn't change, amount doesn't change, but the returns and allowances, what does it become?
998.
All right. And if we were to calculate this correctly, the corner bookstore now owes us a total of $53.89.
Now I got my answer, my question to you. Why are we not subtracting it immediately or put it on the other case a while ago? Because I overlooked on the total itself how much it's supposed to be due.
Okay.
Now I got it.
Okay. All right. Well, I do it like this because, again, where are you going to place this other extra information? See, I wrote this on general journal number 8. I can't squeeze in a 9 in there.
Yeah.
All right. So that's why I like to do it like that. But it should give you the grand total at the bottom of
Yeah, at the bottom.
total invoices. That's correct. Right? And we know that this invoice should belong to this one. So we know that now this person owes us a grand total of $53.89. All right? And then if we can also go to Katie's Coffee Corner, same thing, because she only has one invoice. The amount that she owes us is $99.54. Okay. All right. Now that we completed that, what has happened next?
Deliver to Super A Market.
We finally delivered to Super A Market. So we finally delivered to them. So then what am I going to be marking as of... Hold on, let me look forward. Okay. So what am I going to be marking as far as this? If I delivered my transaction, what has Albert completed?
He has completed his sales, the order.
Correct.
So
Accounts receivable. Good.
the amount of 498.80.
For the amount of 498.80. Okay.
Okay. For the sales, the regular coffee, that will be the credit. Itemize each and every all those items.
Okay, so sales, regular coffee,
Supreme coffee,
sales, supreme coffee, and sales, ceramic coffee mugs. Okay. And that should be 4005040140100400150. Okay. Is that all I need to journalize?
delivery price.
Delivery income. I don't remember what my account is for delivery income. Okay.
48,000.
Okay. So what are my total amounts of sales I made here? How much did I sold for regular coffee?
164.50.
All right. Supreme coffee.
179.55.
And for the coffee mugs.
124.75.
Okay. I'm going to make sure.
Because utilities.
Good. I'm going to make sure that this. I'm going to make sure that this column equals so 1 to 4, 9, 8, 80. Okay, good. So I typed it in correctly. All right. So what do I know about this transaction? Who did I sell this to?
Super A market.
Super A Market. And what's my invoice number?
103.
103. And what terms did I give this person?
110 and 20 net.
1%,
10
10,
net, so 20.
net 20. All right. All right. So where do we need to go first? General ledger. All right. We're going to start with our accounts receivable. So luckily when we left off was on accounts receivable. So on June 21st. Who did we sell it to?
Super A.
Invoice number
103.
103. General journal 10. And for what amount does Super A owe us? 498.80, bringing my grand total of accounts receivable to be $652.23. Good. And now I need to go to my sales, so revenues. So the first one I have here is sales regular coffee. Okay, I wrote the wrong date for that one. So I'm assuming it was 6/20. All right, so how many pounds did I sell to Super A?
50 pounds.
50 pounds. Okay, so sold 50 pounds LBS. General journal number 10. For how much?
Credit 164.
164.50. Bringing my total amount to be 246.75. Good. Next one is going to be
Supreme coffee.
how many pounds did I sell?
45 pounds.
General Journal number 10 for 7955.
17955.
Okay, bring in my grand total to be
259.30.
259.
Oh, 259.35.
Okay, good. All right, lastly, my coffee mugs. All right, I sold. How many coffee mugs did I sell?
25.
25 coffee mugs. General Journal number 10. And how much was those coffee mugs? 124.75. Bringing my new total to be 396.29. Good. Right. Lastly, I gotta record my delivery income. So delivery income. Invoice number 301. Invoice 103. General Journal number 10. Okay. And it was for $30, bringing my new grand total to be 90. Okay. Where else do I need to go?
Subsidiary.
Yes. Okay. So are we dealing with a customer, vendor, or employee?
Customer.
Customer first. All right, so here Super A should be the third box. Here is this. Any notes? Do I need to write any notes for Super A?
Oh, you have the invoice number. I keep on saying the invoice number. No need to, unless we indicate, well, it's already in general, in the journal, or the letter what indicates all those three different items that we sold. So leave it as is, blank. Oh, that's there.
You just don't want to. Okay, that's fine. If you don't want to put anything, you don't have to put anything. General Journal 10. Was there terms given? Did you want to put anything in under notes? You don't have to.
I'd rather. I do not know.
Okay, that's fine.
Just ask everyone.
That's fine. Terms?
1%, 10, net 30, net 20.
Okay. So what's the discount due date?
June 31 or July 1st? Oh, I don't know how many days there are in June. I'm
So
sorry.
July 1st. There's only 30 days in June.
And the due date for
What is the actual due date?
the actual due date is July 21st. Oh, no, 10. 11. 11?
11.
Is it 11? 21 plus 10. Plus 20.
Okay. No advance payment here. What was my total sales receipt?
498.80.
$498.80. Okay. No payment was made. No discount was granted yet.
It should be the same amount. 498.80.
Yes. So I'm going to apply my formula here. Equals my sales.
Minus advance pay.
Mm-hmm.
Minus return sales. Minus discount. Minus payment.
To give me a grand total of $498.80, which should give me a grand total at the bottom of $498.80. Okay. What is next?
Inventory.
Okay.
What is inventory?
Inventory. Inventory.
So, regular coffee. Basic information. We sold 50 pounds. With 50 pounds, honey. At 1.60958.
Okay.
Plus 80.47. And rounding it off. 80.465.
Did you round this number?
No, 50 times 1.60953.
So you rounded it at 3. You rounded it at 3. It's much longer than 3.
80.48. Yeah. Round it. Second. Yep.
48. Okay. So now I need to update my inventory. So now that I started out with 169 minus 50.
Uh, 119.
119.
191.53.
191.53.
1.6094957.
Okay. So we dropped after increasing so much, we dropped. Good. So we sold a total of $80.48 of regular coffee. So what about Supreme Coffee?
So 45 pounds.
All right. Let's look at our batch up here. Do we have enough to sell 45 pounds?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
61 pounds.
So what's my cost per item going to be?
180.
180. All right. Let's go ahead and multiply that across. And what do we get?
81 even.
$81 even. So we're going to update our inventory, right? We no longer have 46 and a half anymore. Minus 45. We only have 1.5 left remaining for 270. Okay. Bringing our grand total to be $231.20 left in inventory. So we sold $81 even, and we sold $80.48. So what am I going to place here in my journal?
Cost of goods sold.
Yes, COGS regular. And we also have COGS Supreme Coffee. And where are we taking it out of?
Can't remember the figure from the inventory. Is she? Oh, taking a regular coffee, Supreme coffee.
Yes. So my cost of goods sold for this should be $550. This one is $5,100. Inventory is $120.20, $120.40. Right? And for what amount am I taking away? For what was the cost of goods sold for my regular coffee?
That is 80.48.
80.48. And lastly, my Supreme Coffee.
It was 81 even? I cannot remember.
Yep, 81 even. Okay. And then I'm going to make a note here that I sold all of this to Super A. Up one. So sold to Super A Market. Right, comma. Invoice number 103. Okay. Now what? We've already updated our inventory worksheet. So what is next? Ledger. Yes. Okay, so where are we going to go first? Cost of goods sold.
Yep.
Cost of goods sold for regular coffee. We sold 50 pounds. I'm missing every single letter. It is so sad. Okay, so general journal number 10. How much of my coffee did I sell?
80.48.
80.48, bringing my new balance to be 210.72. Right? I'm going to update my cost of goods sold for my Supreme coffee. So here 21. How many pounds did I sell?
45.
45 lbs. Okay, general journal number 10. All right, and how much was those
81.
81? Bringing my total to be 22230. Okay. Now I gotta lastly update my inventory. So here's my inventory for regular coffee. 621. All right. I sold 50 pounds. Okay, general journal number 10. For how much?
80.48.
Bringing my grand total if my inventory on hand to be 191.53. Okay. And then lastly, my Supreme Coffee. I sold 45 pounds. General Journal number 10 for how much? $81, bringing my balance to be $231.20. Is that correct? Do we match our inventory worksheets? $231.20. Yes. Okay. Okay. So what's next after this? That's it, right? All right. So let's go ahead and complete this last one. And then tomorrow we'll finish up with our grand opening sales and our cost of goods sold and then complete our trial balance afterwards, okay? So we'll stop here, but let's go ahead and finish this last one. So Albert submits an order for the corner bookstore, again, for invoice number 105. Okay? So if Albert submits an order, where do we place his information? Say that again?
Information here on the commission.
Commissions, correct. So we're gonna go to commissions. Oh, guess what we forgot to do? We forgot to go ahead and indicate that Mr. Allen deserves to get paid for his transaction here for selling the $498.80. So, without further ado, let's complete this first. And then enter in the next one. So, what is 489? Okay, so it's 40. Where's my? There you go. So 49.88 is 10%. So therefore, his total commissions that we currently owe him is $84.57. Okay. So now the corner bookstore decided to submit, or Albert submitted another order for the corner bookstore. Okay. And this is invoice 105. And how much is the bill out for? $194.10. All right. And that is it for today. Okay. So again, tomorrow we're going to come back. We're going to finish our grand opening sales. Once we've done that, then we're going to complete our trial balance. All right. And I'm going to post the answers tomorrow. So don't worry about that because we need to enter this last piece of information in. And then we can go ahead and start week 4 tomorrow. Let's see how far we get tomorrow. And hopefully we'll probably dive into the part, or week 4, probably the second half of the class. Okay? All right, good job, everybody. If you guys don't have any other questions, you guys are free to go.
Thanks, Lee.
Have a good day to everyone.